Hello guys. So in magnetic effect of electric current, we already discussed the force acting on a moving charge in magnetic field. And today we are going to discuss the force acting on a current carrying conductor by magnetic field. So watch the complete video, share it with your friends and subscribe the channel. As we previously discussed, magnetic field can exert a force on a moving charge, and we know a current is basically produced when charge flow through a conductor. So due to the flow of charge, magnetic field also exert a force on a conductor which carry that charge. In the other way, we can also understand this concept like when some current flows through a conductor, some magnetic field generate around it, and whenever two magnetic fields interact with each other, they exert force on each other. So when a magnetic field applied to a current carrying conductor which is also producing some magnetic field, then it will experience a force due to external magnetic field. Now let's find what is the magnitude and direction of the force exerted by magnetic field on a current carrying conductor. So let a conductor of length L, cross section area A, in which a current I is flowing due to the flow of electrons. So the direction of velocity of electron, which is known as drift velocity, is opposite to the direction of flow of current. Now let there is a magnetic field acting on the conductor in upward direction. Then according to Fleming left hand rule, we observe a force acting in outward direction. So this force is acting on an electron, so it can be written as F is equal to minus E Vd cross B. So this is the force exerted by external magnetic field on an electron moving in the conductor. But in a conductor there is a large number of electrons, so if small n is the number of electrons per unit volume, then the total electron inside the conductor is n into V, where V is the volume, and total number of electrons are n a L, area of cross section into length become volume. So now the total force acting on the conductor is N A L into the force on one electron, that is minus E V D cross B. So this is the force acting on all the electron moving inside the conductor. Now that expression of force can be written as F is equal to minus N E A L V D cross B. So to obtain current, we have to take drift velocity in terms of magnitude, because we know the expression of drift velocity related to the current. For that, we can write that expression in a form minus small n E L V D cross B. Now in magnetic effect of electric current, we discussed that the length of a current carrying conductor can be taken as a current element which is in the opposite direction of drift velocity. So the direction of drift velocity and current element is opposite. So LVD vector is equal to minus L vector Vd. So if we change the vector expression, we get a negative sign. Then by putting the value in above expression, we get the force is equal to plus, because must become plus N E A V D, Vd is taken out, and L become vector in place of drift velocity. So we replace vector quantity drift velocity in terms of vector quantity current element by making the expression of current. So as we know, current is equal to N E A V D. Then the force acting on a current carrying conductor is equal to F is equal to I L cross B. So this is the amount of force acting on a conductor of length L carrying current I due to external magnetic field B. This expression can also be written in the form as ILB sine theta. So this is the expression of the magnitude of force acting on a current carrying conductor due to external magnetic field. Now let's discuss the direction and some special result of the force acting on a conductor by external magnetic field. Let's discuss about the direction of force. So from the expression, the force is IL cross B. That means the direction of force is same as the direction of cross product of current element and magnetic field. And from the properties of cross product, we know that when two vector cross multiplied, then their product is perpendicular to both of them. Then the force on a current carrying conductor is always perpendicular to the length of conductor, and it is also perpendicular to the applied external magnetic field. And if we talk about the magnitude of force, which is ILB sine theta, then we have different case, that is if theta is equal to 0 degree. That means theta is the angle between current element and magnetic field. So if magnetic field is applied, along the current element, so if B is along the current element, then F is equal to 0 because sine 0 is equal to 0. So there is no force acting on a current carrying conductor when magnetic field is applied along the length of conductor. So whether the theta is 0 or it is 180 degree. Same for 180 degree angle. So this is the minimum value of force on a current carrying conductor due to magnetic field. Then if theta is equal to 90 degree, that means magnetic field is perpendicular to the current element. In that case, force become ILB, which is the maximum value of force which can be act on a current carrying conductor. So by applying magnetic field at different angle, we can obtain different amount of force experienced by a current carrying conductor. Now let's observe the force acting between two current carrying parallel conductors. To illustrate that, we have two long conductors carrying different current I1, I2 separated by a distance r. Now as we know, every current carrying conductor generates a magnetic field around it. So the magnetic field produced by conductor first exert a force on conductor second, and the magnetic field produced by second conductor exert a force on first conductor. So to express the force, let's first write the magnetic field exerted by both the conductors at a distance r, because they are separated by a distance r. Then the magnetic field at r by the first conductor is mu naught I1 by 2 pi r. Similarly, the magnetic field due to current I2 at a distance r is mu naught I2 by 2 pi r. This we already obtained in the expression of magnetic field produced by a long straight current carrying conductor. Now let's assume the force on first conductor for length L1. Then that force on first conductor is I L cross B. So the current of first, the length of first, but the magnetic field of second. Now as we know from right hand thumb rule, the direction of magnetic field on the current element L1 is in outward direction. So the length and magnetic field B2 is perpendicular. So this can be written as F1 is equal to I1 L1 B 2. Now if we put the value of B2, we get force on first conductor is I1 L1 mu naught I2 by 2 pi r, or F1 is equal to mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi r L1. So this is the force on first conductor at length L1 due to another wire carrying current. Similarly, if you want to find the force F2, so this force is due to the current in second, the current element L2, which we can assume, but the magnetic field produced by the first conductor. So the magnetic field produced by the first conductor is acting in a inward direction, which is also perpendicular to the length of current element. So this can also be written as I2 L2 B1. By putting the value of B1, we get the same expression, that is F2 is equal to mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi r into L2. So these two forces are different from each other in terms of length, but if we find the force per unit length in both the current carrying conductor, then we get mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi r, and in the second conductor we again obtain mu naught I1 I2 2 pi r. So both the current carrying conductor experience different force, but the force per unit length experienced by both of them is same. And if both the conductor have same length, L1 is equal to L2, then the force experienced by them is also same. So per unit force is also same whatever the length of the conductor, but the total force can only be same when both the conductor are identical in terms of length. Now let's see the direction of force acting on both the conductor and observe whether they attract or repel each other. So as we know, the direction of force on the first conductor is in outward direction. Then according to Fleming left hand rule, the direction of current is upward, the direction of magnetic field is outward, then the direction of force on the first conductor is towards the second conductor. So the direction of force on the first is towards second conductor because magnetic field is in a outward direction. Now the force on second is due to the first magnetic field, which is acting in inward direction. So B1 is in inward direction. This is the sign of inward direction, and according to Fleming left hand rule, when current is upward and magnetic field is inward, so the force acting towards the left hand side, so it will experience a force toward the first conductor. Now we observe the first conductor is attracted towards second and second conductor attracted towards the first. So these both current carrying conductor attracted each other when the direction of current in both is same. And if the direction of current in both the conductor are opposite, then these conductors repel each other. So for different parallel conductors with respect to their length and direction of current, we can find the direction and magnitude of force experienced by them. Now let's find the torque on a current carrying loop by magnetic field, for which we have a rectangular loop ABCD placed between the pole of magnet north and south, such that it will experience magnetic field perpendicular to its length. Now each segment of the loop experience a force by the magnetic field according to the formula IL cross B. So the given rectangular loop have 4 segments in which the opposite segments have equal length and experience equal force. Now let's find the direction of these forces. So in the segment AD, the current is moving in that direction and magnetic field is pointed in that direction. Then the force experienced by AD is in the upward direction. the same force experienced by the lower segment BC but in a downward direction, and these two forces are collinear, so they cancel out each other. The force on AD is equal to the force in segment BC but with the negative sign, so they cancel out each other. But these two segments AB and CD are having equal forces but in different lines. So if theta is the angle between the normal of rectangular loop and the magnetic field, then the force acting on the segment AB and the segment CD have a perpendicular distance L sine theta, because along the length L the force cancel out each other in segment AD and BC. So to illustrate that, let's take an example. If we have a rectangular loop in which the force acting downward and upward in the same axis, so they will not experience any torque. But if two segments experience the force in different lines, so it can rotate the loop. So to rotate the loop, we require a pair of force with a particular perpendicular distance. So that distance observed between these two segments, so the torque produced is either force into perpendicular distance. So torque is equal to I B magnetic field into L sine theta. So the torque is equal to ILB into magnetic field sine theta. L into B is the area of loop, so torque is equal to IAB sine theta. So if there are n such loop, then the torque is equal to NIAB sine theta. So this is the magnitude of torque experienced by a rectangular loop placed in magnetic field. And if theta, which is the angle between magnetic field and area vector of the loop, then the total torque experienced by the loop is 0. So if a loop and magnetic field placed perpendicular, then the normal of the loop and the magnetic field are in same direction, then it will not experience any torque. So we have to place the loop along the magnetic field so that its normal is perpendicular to the magnetic field, and it will experience the maximum torque, that is NIAB. If we talk about the direction of torque, then it can be expressed in vector, that is IA cross B. So by using this expression, we can find the torque on any current carrying loop by magnetic field. And this is very important because it is the principle behind moving coil galvanometer, which is a very important device. I hope this topic clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can write in comment box or email us. You can also visit our website newerasolution.in for more study material. Till then, share the video, subscribe the channel and study hard.